track mind, high school design, design for perfection. Gonna raise the question when class is in session. You better listen up, cause you're sleeping on these lessons that I'm spilling from my cup. 3 rings on my fingers, but it's never enough. Stand up and deliver when the going gets rough. I gotta laugh when your credit gets to love, but I'm still giving it back and you just ain't giving up. You got me on a mission, come on and find me. I'm looking for a vision, come see what I see.
Hey, welcome into the Next Level Business Bootcamp. I am super excited to get this week kicked off. We got a ton to go over this week. We're going to dive right in with the slides, but let's just get you up to speed. So you are here because you want to take your business to whatever your next level is in 2024, over the next 12 months and beyond. And maybe you're feeling a little bit stuck. So we're going to go over all of that. But I want to say thank you for being here and congratulations for being here too, because you took that step and you recognized that maybe you don't have all the answers, and that's okay. It's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to seek counsel to get those answers. And I want to make sure that we deliver on that promise of helping you get to the next level. So the ground rules are real simple. If you have questions, put them in the comments. This is a live interactive experience. We want to answer those questions and make sure that we're clear when we deliver what we're going to talk about this week. So questions in the comments, interact in the Facebook group, and we'll be here for you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. We'll go through what to expect, why we're here, and then we're going to dive in with my friend Sean Delaney in just a few minutes. But what is this all about? So if any of the messaging to get you into this bootcamp resonated, it was probably because maybe you're still running your business with outdated business models, or you're doing what you've always done in the past and you're feeling a little bit stuck. Your business has plateaued. You're working harder than ever to just maintain the same level of revenue and profit. Maybe your profit's even declining a little bit, but your revenue's staying the same. Or you're wondering why you haven't reached that next level in your business. So we're going to take care of all of that this week. And there's one simple fix. So before we get deep into this, I want to make sure we are broadcasting just this day on all platforms. So if you have not registered, go to whadif.com/navigate. Make sure you're registered. You'll get the email invites. You'll join our private Facebook group. That's where we're going to be hosting the rest of this challenge for the next 5 days. So make sure you're in that group and you participate, you complete tasks. And we have a couple special prizes that we're going to go over in just a second. And then also upgrade to VIP. If you want to go over there, whadif.com/NLBBVIP. You get all this stuff on the screen. You get a personalized bad review, one-on-one, one full module of our bomb course, free lifetime access to all of the trainings that we're going to go over this week so you can continue to implement over and over and over. A live Q&A session with Sean and me, who we're going to introduce in just a couple minutes. And then this is limited for the first 10 upgrades. First 10 people to upgrade to VIP, you get 1 month in the Inner Circle Mastermind. We'll go over that a little bit more coming up as well, but that is a really cool bonus. So a lot of value here, not a lot of price. $97 gets you all of that and more. So let's keep going here. The ground rules, it's simple. Complete the daily tasks. We're going to, at the end of every day, we're going to give you one action item to do inside the Facebook group, and it will be very clear where you go complete that. It'll take you maybe 10 to 15 minutes at most. We're not asking a lot of you. It's really just so you get the most out of this challenge. You registered for this for a reason. You want to take your business to the next level. We're going to give you the little bite-sized chunks to get you there. You have to go do it. I also want you, like I said, participate in the comments and share your insights. Keep the chat alive. We will answer your questions. We're looking at it. I can see it on my screen. Sean can see it on his screen. And we can put those comments on the screen for everybody to see too, so we can make this interactive and live. And also, very cool, we're going to pick the top 3 people who contribute to this week to get a very special prize. In my opinion, this is really, really cool. So you're going to get access to our bomb course, like I mentioned, but specifically the Navigate module. That's what we're talking about this week. Navigation of your business. We're going to get there, but you're going to get access to that full module. That's 1/10 of the course. That could be easily valued at $1,000. You're going to get that for free just for paying attention and participating in the group, in the live streams, couldn't be more excited to give that away and help you get your business to that next level. You're also going to get a mini course that we just filmed based on last week's Inner Circle on calendar optimization. That's a big fancy word. I don't know if I'm qualified to use that word, but really what it's all about is how you go and take what you've learned this week, put it on your calendar and implement it so that your 2024 and beyond are truly unstoppable. And last but not least, of course, you're going to get a VIP day after this workshop. We're going to work with these 3 people to make sure all the dates and times work out. So I don't know exactly when that is just yet, but it's going to be me, Sean, live on Zoom, and we're going to answer your questions, Q&A module. You can ask whatever you want. It doesn't have to be geared towards this particular week, but the goal is to make sure you get everything from this week, you get it on the calendar, you get it implemented, and your business is set up for success. All right, what is a what if? I know you're probably thinking, who is this guy talking to me, right? So real quick, let's just go over this. My name is Brandon. I started my first company 6 years ago at this point, and I was able to go from 6 to 7 figures by teaching or implementing what we're going to be teaching you this week. It was a simple shift that allowed me to accelerate my hiring, my marketing, scaling my company, outsourcing effectively. All of these pieces started to fall into place because I got this one thing implemented and integrated into my business. Now, what I will say is I didn't go 100%. I didn't have the language behind what we're teaching you this week, and I got close. So we're going to take you to even that next level. So if you're feeling stuck, like I said, if you're in that 6-figure mark, you can't figure out how to get to the 7-figure mark, there is one consistent piece that holds our clients back and held me back. And we're going to share that with you this week. So earlier this year, I was actually able to sell that business for a much higher multiple than is standard in the industry because of a lot of the things that we teach at Whadif. And now I get to facilitate coaching calls, the inner circle calls with our clients, and we can actually grow your business. So much fun what I do. I love being here. And thank you again for joining us. Now, who's this other guy I keep talking about? Sean. He's going to introduce himself a little bit in the beginning of his presentation, but I mean, just look at the screen. He seems like a cool dude, right? I think he's pretty cool. I'm excited to bring him on and have you meet him here. But he's been there, done that. He's seen inside the walls of the biggest companies in the world, and he has helped them grow, optimize, streamline their operations, save a bunch of money. And he's in the middle of a big project right now where he's raising a bunch of money for another one of his companies. We may or may not get into that this week, but this dude is someone you should pay attention to. That's all I'm going to say. So pay attention coming up in just a few minutes. All right. So what's the agenda for this week? We're going to go over the number one reason that most businesses get stuck. If that's where you are right now, we're going to identify that reason. We're going to get you past it and develop a plan for growth. So we're going to evaluate how we got here. We're going to introduce a new business model and we're going to show you how the gurus are lying to you. Real quick, I want to give you an example that I wrote down yesterday that I actually found on this, and it was a famous entrepreneur. I won't say their name, but they make over 9 figures a year, and this was their advice to grow your business. It was create a clear vision and map. Okay, I'm on board. Creativity, focus on creativity and innovation. Okay. Focus on world-class marketing and sales. That was the 4 things that they said you need to do to grow a successful business. I just want to plant that seed. I'm not going to comment on that right now, but I'm going to ask you at the end of today if you see the discrepancies between what we're talking about and what I just said. So plant that seed, think about those 4 things, and then listen really, really closely to what Sean has to say to you in just a couple minutes. Then we're going to rework the foundation of your business and, of course, develop a plan for growth. So what does all this look like? We're going to go over today and tomorrow those first 3 pieces. Then we're going to rework the foundation, session 2, 3, and 4. And then finally, on Friday of this week, session 5, we're going to give you a plan for growth. And we're going to give you an opportunity to join our community for 3 months, the Whadif Inner Circle. So this whole week is not meant to be a sales pitch. It is meant to actually get you to the next level in your business. We are going to give you the information, the context, as well as the content you need to get from where you are to where you want to be. If you'd like more support, if you love what we're saying and you want to hang out with us more, you want to join our community of forward-thinking, next-level entrepreneurs, we want to have you. So we're going to talk about that on Friday, but just know that this whole thing is not to set you up for a sale. It's really to help you. And if you like it, come play with us in our sandbox. If not, that's okay. You're at least going to have the tools to do it on your own. So, what is the number one mistake? I'm going to tee this up and then I'm going to bring my friend Sean on stage. And that is setting up your business without a solid foundation to build on. Sean's going to dive into that, but we see this over and over and over, especially with our clients too. Every single person that comes to us does not have what we're going to talk about this week in particular. And that's why we're hosting a 5-day event on this material. So without further ado, I want to welcome my friend, my business partner, my brother, Sean Delaney, to the stage. Sean, welcome in.
Thank you so much. Before I say anything else, just so I know, for the good people, is this being recorded for them?
Yes, so this is being recorded. You will have access to the live streams if you're in the community. They will go away at the end of this week. So make sure you sign up, you get in the Facebook group, and you'll have access to those recordings. If you upgrade to VIP, however, you do get the recordings forever.
Fantastic. Well, this is exciting. So, Brandon, am I just taking it away? Am I diving into things? This was a wonderful laying down of the ether of what we're about to do here. Are you ready for us to light it up?
I am ready. If you have your presentation ready to go, so we're going to dive in here.
So I'm looking at the time, and so I'm going to preface this to everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm going to preface this by saying that the presentation you're about to see usually takes over an hour by itself. And then each one of these elements is like a 2-hour unpacking. So I don't want to overwhelm you with my projectile vomiting of information at you, but we do need to lay down some disruptive thoughts, ideas, and break apart a few things and give you the entire architecture that we're about to talk about so that you know where we fit in for this week. And so I'm going to do that rapid fire, but there'll be lots of ways for this information to be delivered back to you that will be in more consumable styles and bite-sized chunks. So as long as that's fair, if you're listening to this, I'm about to throw a whole bunch of concepts at you to kind of disrupt your thinking about what we're going to be talking about this week and laying down the broader context for which in which this concept of navigation or strategic planning, as you might know it, fits. Fair, Brandon?
Absolutely fair.
Fair. So let's
take it away.
See what happens when I present slides, when I share screen with 2 monitors. Hold on 1 second. And now I squint. And this isn't a good look, anybody. If you need to.
So while Sean's squinting, yes. So we're technological geniuses over here at Whadif. That's our specialty. So yes, what he said, what we're going to do is point number 1 and 2, the reason your business gets stuck, and evaluating how we got here, the introduction of the new business model. So I see it at the bottom, Sean. If you're ready, let's introduce the people to the new business model and disrupt their thinking on what it is to be in business.
Let's go. How do I bring this up? It's in the background, right? How do we bring this up? You got it. How do I make that not do that?
So click on navigate through that screen.
Here we go, people. This is how the sausage is made. Click on that through that screen. Probably there's 150 people much younger than I am screaming at me. Just click there.
So click present or presentation, whatever it says on slides. Can you tell this is very well rehearsed and thought out as well?
How about, why don't you just tell me how I can show this to everyone? How would you like me to, can I upload this somewhere?
Yeah, let me take care of that.
You're figuring this out. I'm going to tell you.
Start jamming. I'm going to upload the slides.
I'm going to tell you I'm going to tell you things without you seeing these things. So who am I? So my name is Sean Delaney. I run this beautiful circus that we have here called Whadif. Who I am is I worked my way through law school as a stand-up comedian and realized I didn't see much of a difference between the two professions and decided to not do either. And then I went into corporate America, as it's known, and worked for some giants, worked for and with, when I started consulting, companies like Nike, MetLife, Uber, J&J, JP Morgan Chase. And I learned something very powerful in all those years. After toiling and toiling for fixing some of the biggest problems that you can imagine, and you know the size of the companies we're talking about, the Fortune 500, the Fortune 100, incredibly complex global organizations with lots of dynamics, I learned something. A few things, actually. That first, all businesses are the same in their essence. They're all the same. Whether you're making shoes, left-handed widgets, or giving financial advice, it's all the same. We can unpack that in a minute. All businesses have the same dynamics at play. As long as human beings are involved in the business, the same dynamics are at play. And that all businesses are working from the same playbooks. We look to these giant companies for how things should be done because they're big giant companies with seeming massive success. But because they're all working from the same playbook that was derived on faulty premises, they're all essentially digging in the wrong place, meaning that they're all doing things in a way that masks the fact that while they're fantastically successful, they're leaving a lot of success on the table. Okay, so I had a eureka moment where I said there is an architecture that exists among all businesses. They don't know it, but it's there. We sense that it's there because as entrepreneurs, we seek to put things in place, elements in place in our business because we're trying to solve problems that we all have because we're human beings engaged in business. And we look to those big successful companies for the model to do it. And so then our business, successful, not successful, feels harder to scale than it should be. Okay. So in this architecture that we have created, we now are able to reset a business back to the essence of what it should be to get the least minimal effort for the maximum effect. Smarter, not harder. We uncover hidden misalignments that drain time, money, and resources. This is what makes this journey feel uphill the entire time. And we build the foundation to scale. Let me look at my time. So I was asked at some point a question that changed my life, which was, can you help small businesses? You're doing massive things. You're solving intractable problems for the Fortune 100. Could you help entrepreneurs? And this was a great question because great questions, even sometimes not so great questions, invite answers. Nothing great ever happened without somebody asking, what if? Right? So they said, could you help? And I said, now that you think about it, yes, I can. And I wanted to, because in just one of those contracts that I had with one of those major companies, I saved them $30 million. And it was going to be $30 million a year for the foreseeable future. And no one cared. Not one person. Oh, maybe the stakeholder who brought me into the company and maybe the team that I was working with in that moment that we achieved victory, but no one really cared. Stockholders didn't care. It didn't move the stock price. No one really at that level. But you help an entrepreneur. Now they're saying, God bless you. My kids can go to college. My business feels better. It feels right. It feels easier. I can scale this now. Now I'm jazzed up. My employees are all excited. The ones who didn't like what we were doing have self-selected out. Better people are being attracted. It seems easier to get the right talent. It seems easier to get the right clients. And it seems easier to create raving fans and scale this thing as fast as I want to run. Now I can run. And it feels good the whole time. That's pretty cool. And so that's what we do. And so here now is what I learned. I paused there for a second to say, Brandon, are these slides more legible, not legible? Is there a different way to do this? Speak now or forever hold your peace, and I'll just riff and jam like this until you tell me to stop.
We're good. And yeah, if you're watching live with us, and even if you're watching the replay, drop your comments, drop your ahas. We want to see them. We want to see what resonates with you. If I know for me, a lot of this is what I was going through when I first went through this transition. I needed that aha moment to say, oh, there is a different way to look at business. There's a different lens to operate through, but I didn't know what that was. So yeah, excited for you to keep going here. Drop your ahas in the comments and keep changing your slides over there. I'll keep changing them for you on the screen.
Okay, sounds good. All right, and so because I'm doing it this way, I can't see the comments, so just let me know. All right, so here's what I learned. All business is the same thing. It is a value exchange between two people. So any interaction between two people is a value exchange. If I see Brandon, I haven't seen him in a while, give him a hug. Hey, how you doing? Good. How are the kids? How's Michelle? Right, all the things. We're talking about whatever it is of interest to each other. I'm making him feel good. I'm feeling good. It is a value exchange. We are a communal people. We are a tribal people. We are pack animals, like wolves. We want to stay together. There are loners, we all know them, but ultimately, this is who we are. We are communal people. There is value exchange in just talking to each other. Okay, so anytime you're interacting with somebody, there is some kind of value exchange. If you look for it and acknowledge it. Great. So all business is the same, whether you're making, and now business then becomes the commercialization of that business, of that value exchange. You're giving me goats and I'm giving you grain. We're putting money on top of it as a proxy for that value exchange. Now we've commercialized it. That's all business is a commercialized value exchange between people. This worked well for people for a very, very long time. Think back to some idyllic village in the mountains somewhere. You're the local baker. You're making the best baked goods that you know how to make. And you're making them in the way that is in alignment with who you are. You're not even thinking about it. Core values haven't even been established, right? It's just, this is who I am, and I make the best bread and muffins that I can. And that shows. And people in the community see it, recognize it, and start talking about it to each other. And they tell other people, you should go there. It's the best bread I've ever had. Marketing and sales is happening naturally. Okay. Now your business is starting to take off and you need to expand. So who do you hire? You hire the cobbler's son because he doesn't want to be a cobbler. He might want to be a baker. You know him because you interact with him all the time. He's in here constantly buying stuff for his family. You know who he is. You know he's a good kid. You hire him. You trust him. You know the parents. You know everybody knows everybody. It's easy to make these decisions. And I'm not going to hire that one because, I don't know, he's not such a great kid. We know what we're doing. They know, those parents, that kid know that your shop is in alignment with their values. We're hiring, we're expanding. You need to expand to another town. Now you're getting really big. Now there's somebody who comes and they're a knife sharpener. They come with their cart. They roll through here and 6 other villages. They like what you're selling. They're like, you know, this other town over here, they have a baker who stinks. It's terrible. This stuff's way better. What if I brought some of your bread over there? Now we're expanding our territorial reach through proxies. We trust this guy because we see him once a quarter because he rolls through with his cart. But, you know, I don't totally know what he's saying, but so far, so good. Okay? You can see this natural expansion happening. Now, here comes the Industrial Revolution. Now, you can say there's a million ways we can argue this as to what the breaking point was. Don't lose the point for the example. At some point, business expanded beyond our scope of what? Our scope of control, our scope of sight. We couldn't understand what was going on, so we needed to hire proxies of ourselves to say, hey, look, I trust you, Brandon. Can you go and do the whole Ohio operation? I've got New Jersey locked down. You go to North Carolina, Brandon. Let's expand that way. So now Brandon is building things up in an area where he doesn't know everybody. And now people are coming in, and as this is all blossoming and expanding, people start to develop disciplines because business is becoming too big for one person. So we're not going to learn everything anymore. We're going to focus in on a discipline. I'm going to be an expert in strategic planning. I'm going to be an expert in finance because good luck getting anything done without the money, right? Well, no one can do anything in the world without the people. I'm going to be the HR expert. And everyone gets into their comfort zone. Silos emerge. And what happens? Big businesses are created on a siloed, institutionalized model of what before naturally happened. And it got conscripted by people seeking power, influence, and safety in a world that now was unsafe and unpredictable. I pause there for a second to say, I've seen massive businesses that we all look to as examples and hundreds of small businesses. It's all the same, no matter where you are. It's just a matter of scale. Same fundamental dynamics have been there since the start of business. They got morphed by, blame capitalism, the Industrial Revolution, whatever you want. Things expanded beyond people's sense of comfort and safety and predictability. And so they created fiefdoms that then ruined the very machine that needed a more free-flowing exchange of information and dynamics. Okay, so every business, no matter what, goes through three phases. There's the ideation. I either created a massive product that's going to change the world, or there is a constituency out there that is underserved in some way, shape, or form, and I am going to serve these avatars with my new service or product. Okay, there's the ideation of it. How is this thing going to work? Who am I in the world? How will this all work? Then there's the implementation. How do I make this thing a real thing? We got to hire people. We got to create processes. We have to understand. We're going to have to create the product itself. Lots of things have to happen in that kind of building of a business. And then there's the iteration, which is now we're up and running, and now we're learning from the market. We're learning from our avatars. We're adding new products. We're changing our service. We're refining our processes. And that little cycle happens. And when you're trying to pivot or reinvent yourself, you start with ideation again, and you go through these three things. Inside of these three phases, there are 10 traditional disciplines that every business has, whether you're a giant Fortune 100 company or you're you and your brother with a taco truck. All business has these things to different sense of scale and size. Everyone has to do some kind of strategic planning, project management, time management, process automation, metrics, change management, people management, leadership, marketing and sales, and risk management. These are the 10 traditional silos that were created, but they are broken, as we said. So what we teach is a new set of names. We've distilled everything down to its essence of what it really was. What was this really trying to get at that we removed from its natural state and imposed an arbitrary, institutionalized model of? What is it really? And they have a different set of names. That name beautifully, when lined up correctly, spells harmonious. This is how to have a harmonious business, because that is the essence of what we are creating for people in teaching this architecture. Okay, so I am going to briefly, I'm looking at the time check. I'm going to take less minutes than I should to just disrupt and tell you what we're talking about when we talk about these things, in order for you to come back and understand what navigate is. Okay, so in this harmonious architecture, yes, I apologize, it doesn't line up to say that if you do it in the order in which you have to tackle it. It says no so am higher, means nothing to anyone, so harmonious is better if you want to remember it. But the N in harmonious is navigate. This is what it's traditionally known as strategic planning. So we're going to spend an entire week on this, so I won't unpack all this here. But by strategic planning, I don't mean leaning against a Lamborghini, a rented Lamborghini, and throwing money in the air saying next year I'm going to 10x my revenue, bro. That's not strategic planning any more than saying, well, I'm going to specifically do these 4 things and hope that it works out in my business. That's tactical planning. I am talking about the underserved and undervalued critical elements of core values, your mission, and your vision. And before you think that I'm talking about the platitudes that big business has a consultant come in and write, that has really nothing to do, is approved by the board of directors and adopted and applauded by the shareholders. I'm not talking about that kind of mission, vision, core values. I'm talking about the who we are, how will we run our business, who are we serving, and where will we be in the next 5 years in breathtaking fashion, and leveraging all of that throughout your business. That's what we're going to talk about this week. Okay. Operate. This is really project management. Everything you're doing that is outside the normal run and gun of your business is a project, and it should be thought about that way. This is right. The best planned race has to be run. Once you have done your strategic planning, you got to run the race. This is how you do it. Every change you're going to do and enact in the world is a project, so that you have targeted allocations of resources to effect that change along the path on your vision. That's what those projects are. Serenity is how we talk about time management. Time management, I hate this term because you don't really manage time any more than the person in the raft manages the river. You're not doing that by rowing. You are navigating down that river of time. Time will flow no matter what. There is no more of it. And so we teach a whole process called the 4 Ds of deletion, delaying, delegating, and doing, as a way of making sure that the right things get on your calendar and everyone else under you in your organization, however many bands and layers you have, everyone will have the right things on their calendar at the right times. Following that process, because you're not making any more time. And successful businesses spend a lot of money to save time. Unsuccessful entrepreneurs spend a lot of time just trying to save some money. That's the reverse, because money is endless. Time is limited. Time is your ultimate resource in your business, not money. Okay. Next, we talk about order. This is your process and automation. What processes are running through your business. And so we talk about this as operations. Your operations are really a series of connected process chains, processes connected to each other, some internal only and some external facing. Those are your value chain, the processes that have to happen in your business to take nothing to create something, to create absence to value, to create raw materials into a widget, years of knowledge into advice. Okay. Whatever that value chain is, that is the chain that matters most to your clients. That is where your automation should land. There's 2.5 hours to unpack in that statement, but we don't have that kind of time. Okay. Analysis. Okay. This is analyze. This is how I want you to think about metrics. We all know you could fly a plane without a dashboard, but I'm not buying a ticket on that. You need to fly your plane with an instrument panel, same way you run your business with an instrument panel. Okay. We don't fly without instruments. We need leading indicators versus lagging indicators. What do I mean? If you are managing your business by revenue, customer satisfaction, this is like managing your entire weight loss effort by just getting on the scale once a week. It's too late in time. It is not a measure that you can be reactive to before you get the resultant revenue, customer satisfaction number on the scale. You need to have just-in-time measures that will get you in a place that say, well, I'm tracking how I've been eating and I'm off for 2 days. I better correct it. That is an actionable metric that is a leading indicator that gives you some kind of inkling that you need to change something before the resultant lagging indicator hits home, like our customers are all unhappy and they're leaving. Okay. That is what we're talking about, analysis. In modification, this is change management. Something's gone wrong. We need to change something. We know from our metrics that maybe we have to make some kind of change, rather than leaders that we see frequently who just change things because it's a whim and a prayer and they create massive chaos in their business. We want to minimize the unintended consequences from any change we have. This is called the butterfly effect. We teach a whole methodology on how to do this. But with our architecture, we want to make sure that you are not losing sight of the power of organizational dynamics, because any change initiative will be destroyed if you do not understand those and honor them. And if you do, every change you want to make will be multiplicative in its speed of acceleration for your business forward. Home is what is traditionally called human resource management. I hate that term, okay? What we want to talk about is humans optimize everything they need in order to crush it for you within reason in a meaningful environment. I'm not just pulling levers 8 hours a day and then going home. I understand this place, this mission, these people that I'm working with, and the avatars that we serve all mean something to me. I cannot understate the power of that for your workforce. Okay. This is creating the people working for you into engaged, fulfilled, loyal fans of your company, a second sales force. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Somehow my slide, there we go. Inspire. This is what traditionally is known as leadership. I don't like the idea of the term leadership as much as inspiration or inspire, because leadership implies others, me making the people who work for me doing something or getting them to change their behavior. Inspire can also be self. And that's why I prefer that expanded term and an idea for this, because if we can't get ourselves out of bed, how are we going to get anybody else out of bed? We have to first be able to inspire ourselves to do the things and then become the example for everyone else, because it's, of course, ridiculous for us to expect our employees to do things that we ourselves are not unwilling to do or unable to do. So this is the essence of being a superior leader, is the ability to inspire. And then we have ubiquity. So this is what we call marketing and sales. Marketing and sales could be marketing and sales over here. Every company that I've ever seen that have done that, and there are Fortune 100 companies that do that, it is suboptimal. It is not good. Marketing and sales has to be in the same room, same team, same people. Because otherwise you're just creating another discipline silo to say, well, I'm going to really hone in on these skills, and I don't want to muddy the water by getting suboptimal. Knock it off. Marketing and sales together. And this is the essence of being everywhere your avatar expects you to be and not where they don't. Okay, so this is refine your marketing spend and your message to the places that are in alignment with your core values, mission, vision, etc. Because I've had people tell me, you're nuts if you're not on TikTok. I don't know that the people who need to hear from me are looking for the kinds of people like me on TikTok. There might be kinds of people like me. There's no one really like me, but there's might be kinds of people like Whadif playing a game on Instagram or TikTok. That's not where the people who are seriously looking for me are looking for me, because that's not where I should be. And I've had very well-meaning marketing experts who are into marketing, about marketing, and think marketing solution for everything, who told me I was nuts if I didn't camp out on Clubhouse and define my space, because Clubhouse was the answer to everything. And I said, I kind of disagree. And they're like, what do you know? You do all these disciplines, but I've been marketing since the day marketing was created, and marketing, but that I live, cut me open. Marketing gushes out. That you have type A positive blood, I've got marketing. That's it. Great. Be on Clubhouse. Wrong. Is anyone there? But well-meaning people thought that was the place and I needed to be there, and I knew that my avatar wasn't there. Those are wasted hours with me doing some kind of ego stroke. Wasted hours, time, energy, money. Not my place. Rad. This is last. Not sexy, but gosh, is it important. This is the lawyer in me. I don't lead with that, typically, that I'm a lawyer, because I want you to grow to hate me, not hate me right off the bat. But this is risk management. This is risk and defense. And so we teach that there should be around your business a marsh, a moat, and might. The marsh is putting your business in an inhospitable place, meaning I've situated Whadif in a place where we pretty much own the territory. To get here, you've got to deal with the fact that I've got 25 years experience doing this at the Fortune 100. So if you want to say the same thing I'm saying and saying you're better at it, your resume better be better than mine. And I've got some distance there with some things. Being a lawyer that's putting it in a marsh, not insurmountable by somebody new, but certainly you got a lot of distance to cross through inhospitable territory to start trying to put down my riff and jam. And the moat is things like patents. We're dealing with this in a second business I have. Patents, trademarks, copyright, right? That's harder to get over. And then inside the walls is the might. These are the knights of the castle. This is your accountant. This is your lawyer. This is your insurance provider. Whole bunch of people. Heck, even your healthcare provider. You need to have loyal specialists, because entrepreneurs try to do everything themselves as much as they can. Spit glue, duct tape to try to save on something, and they put themselves at risk. This is not the place to take those risks, those gambles. Stop doing it yourself. These are disciplines where you need to have experts, and we teach you the questions that you should be asking those experts so you get the best of the best. Now, this entire architecture exists everywhere for any business of any size, Nike, Uber, J&J, or two people with a taco truck. The architecture exists, but the power comes in leveraging these disciplines against and for each other. So it is the interplay between each of these disciplines laid down with maximum effect that will let your business scale anywhere you want to take it, further, faster, with less effort. And chief among them is navigation. And so this model changes everything. There will be no more time. We talked about that. There is no more time. So the only way that time travel is possible without breaking the space-time continuum is by accelerating your journey through it. I got somewhere faster in the same amount of time. Okay? This model makes that possible, and it all starts with navigation. And we're going to unpack that, lay that down, disrupt what you think about it, and write something brand new and give you something that will have you hard charging into 2024. Brandon, I cede the rest of my time to the venerable senator from North Carolina.
I'm a senator now. Okay, I like it.
I know. Could be.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. So I love that we have a lens to look through. And did we deliver on the promise of disrupting how you think about business? So drop it in the comments. What are your takeaways from this portion of day one? Now, we do have to go from here to figuring out where is your business. That's very important. Anybody that comes to work with us, whether that's you going to Nike or it's two guys in a taco truck coming to work with us, we have to know where your business is. So you should have already done this. If you read the welcome emails, you signed up for this challenge, is to take the bad. If not, I'll put it on the screen here. Go to whadif.com. You can sign up and take it. And then we'll use this. This was actually part of your assignment at the end of today. So please go take this assessment. So Sean, let's go through one real quick, dissect what this looks like as a whole. And then remember, if you upgrade to VIP, you do get a one-on-one review with us. So we can go and dissect what your business actually looks like right now. But I want to bring this one up here.
And it should be said that this bad review, which is the business architecture diagnostic, it's bad because it's like a bad review, but also, yeah, the numbers might be bad. That's good. We don't lose, we learn. So, but this bad, we used to bake this into contracts that we have with the Fortune 500, so nobody tell them, but now it's free. This used to be, though, a 5-figure add-in to every contract that we did. So this is not an insignificant gift, please. Okay, so please open one up, Brandon. Let's unpack.
No, definitely not insignificant. And the other thing too to consider with the one-on-one review, why do I push this? It's because what you see on the screen here, and we're going to go through one. Watch how Sean is able to dissect these numbers, and this is what we do on the actual review, and reveal what's going on beneath the scenes. So this one's actually going to be a little bit fun for me. I did this review. Sean did not, and he has met this person, but was not aware of these scores. So I want to see how close he gets to accurate and why this is like a magic 8 ball into your business. So yeah, he's sweating a little bit. But what I did here, this is actually, I went through and I reviewed. So the scores are out of 500. So this is what the bad is. We went over that a little bit. Our average score that comes in is 284 out of 500. This one was as close to that as I could find from an actual result, and that was 262. So this is very much in line with what we see average, and the numbers per discipline were pretty well average across the board as well. So again, we're going to go through the 10 key areas of business. We're going to start with navigation. So this person, on their assessment, they got a 22 out of 50. When you get yours back, you're going to have a 12-page PDF report. This is one little cross-section of that report. And then there's a bunch of words and descriptions underneath. We're going to take you through that live right now, and we'll go through that on your review. But this is a snapshot of what this looks like. So this person, that's a pretty low score in navigation. And that's why we're doing this workshop, because most people's navigation section is between 20 and 30. We have them as low as 3 and as high as 49. But this is the average. So Sean, looking at these scores from all the years you've been doing this, tell me a little bit about what this person is probably feeling in their business, and then we'll go over it.
Okay, so all right. So first, caveats. No, this is like open air therapy, right? Like, I don't want the person, whoever who scores these are, will never reveal it. And I haven't met who it is, so please don't feel like I'm airing your dirty laundry, because that's not what's happening, right? But he could feel that way, like, oh my God, someone's discussing my scores, and I'm going to say things based on this, and right. But now,
it's not about that person. Like I said, these scores are average across the board. So when we say stuff that's maybe hurts a little bit or feels like we're peering inside your business, we are. And it's not 100%. Meant to hurt, but it's meant to reveal.
This is like going to a doctor and being like, I'm afraid they're going to know that I don't eat well. Well, you need to know that you don't. You know you don't. And you're like, we're not going to not take your blood work because you think that like 50% of it that comes out is lard because you've been eating just fast food for the last 6 months. Like, we need to know that. So that's what this is. So I look at this. So right now I'm terrified by a business that has a 6 for a vision, but a 2 for their mission. Because that says to me, oh, my vision is $10 million a year, baby, on whatever this is. And I say whatever this is because I don't know what it is, because my mission is a 2, because I'm not really sure who I serve or how I serve them. But now this could be a well-meaning, but I just know I can help everyone. And so I'm picturing me just helping everyone, baby. That's right. So it could be that, or it could be we're going to hit this number. And when people start doing that, they haven't done the core values, mission, and vision in the right way. Because how could you possibly have a strong vision of where you're going when you don't know who you are and how you will show up in the world, and who you serve and how you will serve them? How would you have a vision then for where you're going? The vision then must be self-reflective. I will have X or Y and B, and I'll figure out then what the mission is later. And then the core values will be whatever effectuates me getting on that path, which is so easy then to get misaligned and chase dollars rather than solutions for people.
I knew this was going to be fun. That could not have been more spot on. So, okay. So this person, this is awesome. This person, they were all numbers focused. They were outcome focused. They didn't care how they got there. Any pivot was a good pivot. Any opportunity was a shiny opportunity. And it was very clear that, yeah, like you said, there was no real mission guiding the company, and there were no core values. It was whatever's going to bring money in the door, we're going to do. And one thing I'll say about this, if that resonates with you and you don't have a mission, core value, why, it's okay, because that's what this week is about. So first of all, thank you for being here. If you're not willing to change that, I'll just go ahead and say straight up, we're not for you. We love working with mission-driven, impact-driven entrepreneurs, because those are the people that win long-term. They're the ones that keep revisiting their why. They know why they get out of bed in the morning. So if you see this and you're like, ooh, that kind of hurt because that's what I do, awesome. If you're willing to change, we're gonna get you through that this week. If you're not, that's okay. Just go find somebody else.
So Brandon, are you saying that with just 5 questions, each on a 10-point scale, which if the average bad assessment takes 8 minutes, this was like a minute and a half. In a minute and a half with 5 questions on a 10-point scale, we completely nailed exactly who they are and how they're showing up and what their business is struggling with. Are you saying that?
If you want to get technical, you actually did it out of just 3 questions. So yeah, that's what we're saying.
Just wanted to be clear. All
right, let's do it. We got 8 minutes left. We want to keep ourselves on schedule here, but let's go through implementation. So again, another middle of the road score, 33 out of 50. What are you seeing out of implementation?
Same business?
This whole assessment is from the same business, but they do fit within the average scores.
No, yeah, I know, but I'm just I'm looking for the build then of I know what I know from the first one. I'm looking here, and wait,
pause before you say anything else. Do you see watching how important it is to understand this architecture because of what Sean just said? He's using what he knows from the first discipline to see how it interacts here, and navigation or strategic planning is the only discipline that touches all 9 other disciplines. So we use this. We're going to use everything we do from this week to build your next level business. So Sean, I had to interrupt with that because it was so crucial, but continue with implementation.
Super important. Thank you. Because yes, thank you. So, and it is a build. And this is why over the year, no matter who it is, when a client would come in and say, no, my problem is here. It's in ubiquity. It's in marketing and sales. And I'd say, no, maybe, probably not, because it's all connected. Just like if you went to the doctor and said, I've got some numbness in my left arm, I'm sure it's a neck problem. So just check that out. The doctor's like, okay, but I'm going to take some blood work and listen to your heart and maybe, no, just check this out. No, because of course it could be lots of things because the whole system is connected. This is the same thing. Okay. So knowing that, I look at this. So they're metrics. So they're metrics driven. Any object's a shiny object. They don't know who they're serving necessarily. And so why would they be so confident then that they hit some kind of vision? It's either because they themselves think they're brilliant or they think they've nailed it on the processes and controlling how people react. Bro, I know any process. It doesn't matter the audience. I will deliver something based on these, right? So we efficiently we got tools for workflows. Things come in, they go here, we automate it. We have systems in place. Man, everybody knows because I've got them using playbooks or processes. Nobody does a thing without me because that's how we roll, man. And we're going to get there. Wherever there is. Big, rich, running and gunning because we've got solutions, processes, but, we'll find the audience. Build it and they will come.
Yeah, but the caveat to this was they were in the person's head. So they weren't really standardized and published throughout the organization. It was, they had processes, but if the guy who owned them died, there would be none.
Okay. And I laugh only because I've seen that too, yeah. But that makes sense. So not having spoken to them, I wouldn't know that they were in their head. But still, you see the mentality, which is, once I know who I'm serving, the processes are there because I'm metrics driven and I'm process related. I'm already projecting some of the scores we're going to see. Go, please. I want to see more of this.
All right. Now, process.
So I just reflected there on the process. Mm-hmm. So we've got an operating, right? We've got systems in place. I wonder if these actually exist. When they say our employees have access to job aids, are there actual employees or is that in their head too?
No, it was a small company. That was, I think 1 or 2 full-time employees and then a couple of part-time employees as well.
But this is that. So look at this. We have all our processes nailed down. Change isn't even really bumping anything because I've got it all. Why would I change anything? Why would I learn anything and pivot at all? I've got it locked down. So you better not change things. I can't imagine working. And then we use automation. Okay, so they're 50%. All right. So that's where they are. We've got it locked down. Why would I change? I already
Yeah, so like I said, it was locked down, but it was in their head. So
in their head.
we have a time to review change and document and socialize change. Well, no, because it wasn't documented at all. So that was accurate. But yeah, the other ones where, and this is where we dig deeper on these calls. We have an effective operating model. When I asked about it, it was, well, we know what we do. You know, it's kind of in our heads. It's not published, but we know what we're doing.
So
So
this is why, Brandon, you said it earlier. This is why we do review calls. It's not to sell people anything, because I don't know if we're a good fit or not. There's nothing to sell at that point. We get you on the call because there are people whose scores are way too high because it was in their head. They were imagining it at some future state. They're not unstable. They're just saying, oh, yeah, okay, I can get it, right? But didn't. Or like their scores are so low, I go, there's no way you're making what you're making with scores that low. You're just ridiculously hard on yourself, which most entrepreneurs are. So usually the numbers will all go up with someone or all go down with someone. There's very few where but that's why we have to have these conversations, because we got to explain what we mean and understand what they mean when they're answering the question. Go ahead. Sorry.
perfect. No, that makes sense. So marketing, which is ubiquity. And that's one last thing I want to say. This was actually, this review was done before we updated into the harmonious architecture. So we have the old terms here. So we'll translate that for you. But marketing, AKA ubiquity, again, middle of the road, but average to what people come to us with.
But again, what a shocking hole right in the middle of this little this teeter-totter of ineffectiveness, which is, we've got middling scores on the either side of the one that would have pulled them all up, which is we have a well-defined customer avatar. There's a reason it's in the middle. And it's this reason, because look at the little, right? We're fives on either side of I don't even know who we're talking to. That 2 becomes a 10. Every score on either side moves up. You're not going to have a 10 in the middle with 1s on either side of it. So beautiful, beautiful example for the power of core values and mission and vision.
And you probably predicted this when I said every opportunity was a shiny one, because that means every person is an opportunity to sell. And they had no idea.
So our strategies and tactics, we don't know where to be, who we're talking to. And so we're just going to be, I'm going to shake it on TikTok, and I'm going to hire somebody to spin a sign out on the street, and I'm going to get a $60,000 Facebook marketing ad budget. I'm going to do all kinds of things because I'm just going to swing it everything. Yeah, okay. Not good.
Work well. All right, so measures, and this is obviously going to tie to processes. How do we measure what we don't know what we're doing?
Not even sure who it would benefit other than maybe ourselves. This is classic. Do you see how confident we as a business owner were filling this out with? I got 8s and 9s. I'm running. I don't know how to measure anything. Are you doing it? Do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you're doing? Those 8s and 9s are trees falling in the woods. If you're not even sure, they mean nothing if we don't know where we're going and who we're serving. I'd rather you measure nothing. Stop measuring. Those 5s should be 0s immediately. That's my advice. Stop measuring shit. Wasted time and energy. I don't know why you're measuring anything, because you don't know who you're serving. I'm starting to get animated. I love this person. I want them to stop it. So, okay, God, next one.
Yeah, and this is not what the week is about, but the first one, again, why we dig deeper is because where it says we manage output with leading indicators. You don't know what they are because you don't know who you're serving and what you're serving them with. But when I asked, it was revenue and number of customer serves. Those are lagging indicators. So it really was a 0. It was just mislabeled. So this score was actually 20 initially. It really went down to like a 3. So you're, again, right on point. Change management. How do we change what we don't measure because we don't know what we're doing, because we don't know who we serve? Now I'm getting animated too. This is fun.
Right. But now we communicate to employees. That's great. And we're reducing the time to implement it, meaning we shove it through fast. Because who's got time to waste on change management? That's what that becomes. That's not an effective person in charge of, we have streamlined operation. I tell them to do it and they do it. That's why it's fast, to reduce the time needed to implement change. And we're not really changing anything, because before you told me that everything was on lock and we didn't need to socialize anything or any change, right? And we have a method to assess it. We kind of think we do. That's just based on whether my lagging indicators have pointed in the wrong direction, which is too late to change anything anyway. So anything you're doing relative to change management isn't going to be aligned already. And then there's zero process for root cause analysis. So that means something goes wrong and we swing it 4 pitches and then it was right. And that's not the scientific method at all. How you would never change 4 things and then everything got better and you go, well, we knew it. It was those 4 things. No, it was one of those or 2 of those in some kind of combination. You missed it. Your fix was over expensive, over allocated, underperforming.
Yeah. So again, how could you change something if you're not measuring it and you don't know why you're doing it and you don't have a process to complete the action? So
No
the
root
whole
cause
thing about,
analysis, right?
yeah, the modify in this, which is change management, the modify for this person was basically, if there's a problem, swing it 4 pitches, like you said, and push through change for no reason, but not even monitor the effectiveness
And
of
one
it.
more example of why all these disciplines are truly linked. If you mush them all together and say, this is business, you cannot. That's why you're confused. The architecture allows you to play inside the disciplines, but also to understand how they're all connected. And so that's what Brandon and I are doing now, right? Which is popping back and forth between the disciplines because we know how they're all linked, which we teach. Anyway.
Yeah. This one, time, serenity. This one also ended up being lower, and I'm sure you're going to hit the nail on the head for why, but what are you seeing here?
So this person is, so because we don't know what we serve and because we're swinging at every pitch, our days are ruled by the seemingly urgent but unimportant. And so things are getting under our we don't know how to keep things off our calendar. And so we have brief moments of focus and clarity on tasks in front of us, but not towards that vision, not towards a mission, because we don't have one. And so there's flurries of activities that make us feel like we're getting stuff done, but ultimately the scores are low because we know we're not really moving anywhere. And most of our time is spent just in the we don't know what we don't. All activities are equally important because we don't know what actually moves us anywhere because we don't know where we're going.
Yeah, let's draw your attention to the bottom line, the chaos in firefighting. When every opportunity is a shiny opportunity and every problem is the biggest problem in the world because you have no mission, you have no vision, and in this case also no real core values, you say yes to everything, no to nothing, and they also did not go through the 4Ds. So yes, spot on. That one was actually lower because everything was chaos. Every single thing that came through the door was chaos that needed to be handled by, in this case, the owner of the business, which is the worst position you could be in.
Sure, they're triaging it upside down. Typical.
Again, I'm laughing in advance because I know what they said. Another low score. People home, the team that they were surrounded with, and again, there's a glaring 2 in the middle. What do you see here?
How could your culture drive behaviors to match your core values if we don't know what they are? How do we know if these are the right people? Right people for what mission? We don't know where we're going. And then the leadership team to help them develop their skills and careers. In what venue? In what area? To do what? What skills? Whittling? I don't know. You could help them. I sat around today with Brandon and I helped him, become a better flautist. I don't know that flute playing is necessary here, but good for you. And so, of course, you don't know. And you're not even, and you, more importantly than anything else, don't care to ask them. And so they're all suffering in silence. And you're like, I kind of think I'm helping Brandon. I don't know. How could I? I mean, I have to what? Ask him? Anyway, please.
Yeah. So that's the problem. They don't ask their people how they are at the very least. There's no core values. There's no mission. There's no vision. If you don't ask, of course, these are all fives. Those fives really meant, I don't really know. I don't talk to them. And they're just people turning and producing widgets. There was absolutely zero culture and alignment.
Pulling levers for a paycheck. And that's what you're going to get out of them. And that's how they talk about your company when they're at Thanksgiving.
That is correct. Now onto usually my favorite category in these reviews, because at this point in the bad review, we've gone through 7 or 8 disciplines, and we've talked about they think how great their business are in this case, and then we get to leadership, and we usually get an inflated number. So I love to dig a little bit deeper here. But based on the last section by itself, just home and how you manage your people, this by definition could not be as high as it is. So what do you see here?
So here's what I love. At this point, the people who probably want to come and play in our sandbox already are analyzing these numbers the way we would. Okay. Of course, your core values infused to everything should be a 0, because you just admitted to me you don't have core values. They're just are an amalgamation of all the people you've ended up hiring. It is a soup of that. Delegation well really just means I bark orders at people, and I get that I'm not that clear. That's how you get a 6. Leadership models, what matters to our culture, being a 3. I could have read just that and probably predicted all of the rest of the scores here. Because if you're not modeling behavior, we need to move you off as an executive chairman sitting on the board of directors and put in a new CEO or a proxy CEO who's going to model the behaviors. This is the worst thing you could get 10s everywhere and do as I say, not as I do, and take a serious chunk of motivation and leadership and effectiveness out of your organization. And so serious work needs to be done there. That's what I would say here in the time we have that we've already run through.
Yeah, so leaders, take note. And last but not least, awesome. We have a shit company, but we're protected.
Oh, I got the best lawyer, accountant, and insurance provider. Add to this, you need a fractional COO, some kind of help, because you have a lot of risk. You're not going to have a business to protect soon if you continue with the rest of the numbers where they are. So good on you for having advisors. I like that. No strategy for it, but you're protecting your intellect. You're protecting your brand. You're taking lots of steps. You've got a 10 for protecting your brand, but you don't do anything to build that brand. Your brand stands for every other score on here. I wouldn't spend $1 protecting it because you're not working on it.
Oh, the truth hurts and the truth is revealed. Go to your welcome emails, go to whadif.com, take the bad.
Dark at the end. I'm just, it's the numbers, man. You don't.
Hey, listen, it's true. And that's the whole point of doing that, because we have to know where you are as a company. So we know that, so we can see where you need to go and how to get you there. You can't get somewhere without a map. And that's basically what the bad is. So that's the wrap on today. So go take the bad if you didn't already. Your task for day 1 is post your results and what you learned from them under this video, or under the guide for task 1. Excuse me. You'll see where that is.
You're not going to get raked through the coals. This isn't
no.
Anybody. We're harsh with those because no one's name was attached. No one's ever going to be made to feel bad, and no one gets a good score. those Fortune 500 companies don't get a good score. No one gets a good score until we've really ripped it all apart and rebuilt it in a better way. So no harm in having bad scores. It's a harm in not wanting to see the scores or not wanting to address the scores. That's the harm. That I have no respect for.
Precise. Yeah. So let's go through this real quick. Recap day one. Let's bring up these slides here. So I think we did pretty good job of identifying your business is broken, but the good news, it's not your fault. It's a broken model. We can get past the broken model. We got to see where you are though in the broken model so we can adapt the harmonious architecture to it and really give you that rocket fuel to get to the next level. So I think we did a pretty good job of the first three. The reason your business gets stuck, evaluating how we got here. That's when Sean went over the Industrial Revolution and being a farmer in the middle of nowhere to basically where we are today. And then the introduction to the harmonious architecture. And we went through the bad, which is more than we actually planned for today. That was going to be a maybe. So I know we went a little bit over. I appreciate you sticking with us, but that's the stuff that we really, really need to do to build throughout the rest of the week. So again, it is not too late to upgrade to VIP. The VIP sessions don't start until after Wednesday. It's going to be 90 minutes with us live after these calls. You get to do one-on-one bad review that we will still do before those calls and before the rest of the week. You get the full module. You get all this other stuff. It's amazing. It's $97. So go ahead, go upgrade. We'll get you taken care of. And then again, make sure you're in the running to win the prize. Drop your comments, complete the tasks. Task 1, go in the Facebook group, post your bad results, what you learned from it. And we're going to see you tomorrow where we dive in and we're actually going to build your core values. We're going to start building this foundation. So core values, mission, vision, and then we're going to integrate all of this and get you a plan set up for the rest of the year, the next 12 months. Super excited for that. Thanks for sticking with us. Sean, any last words from you before we say goodbye?
Oh, that's it. Take action. It's all right here. And you now just heard a bunch of stuff that made you go, huh. Take action and be different. Break the mold.
Take action and be different. That's the one thing I was going to leave you with. So I was actually at an event over the past couple of days, and I'll just share. It was a Tony Robbins event. It's been a great event. But what was interesting that I found was watching the audience. I'm virtual, attending virtually, and you see the audience, and they share clips from past years. The same people show up in the same seats year after year after year. You know why? Because they don't take action. This is a free event, 5 days, 5 hours, and the knowledge and context we're giving you to literally launch your business to the next level in as little as 3 months up to 12 months. That's the goal here, is out of this world. Take action. Don't just attend. Do your homework, and we will see you tomorrow on day 2 of the Next Level Business Bootcamp.